Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We are now only a couple of days away from the single biggest update in Warzone history. Yes, we've had large updates before. We got the quote-unquote new map with Verdansk 84. We've seen events and this, that, and whatever else, but nothing is going to compete in terms of what the Pacific update is bringing to Warzone. Today we're looking at everything that's been confirmed for the Pacific update so far, from gameplay changes to actual physical updates, obviously like the brand new map and everything like that. So as we go through it all, if you enjoy the video at any point or if you're excited for the Pacific map, let me know by dropping a like on it. It would be seriously appreciated. Let's try and aim for 2,500 likes on this one. And of course, if you're new here or if you happen to be a part of the 58% of viewers who have not already subscribed, this is the best place to be for everything going on in COD, between news, updates, class setups, tips. It is all right here each and every single day, so feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. Also, all month long, Gamer Advantage is running a huge holiday promotion. Usually my discount code Immortal would only get you 10% off your entire order, but now through the end of the month, code Immortal actually gets you 20% off your entire orders. So if you want to grab a new pair of frames or anything else from the Gamer Advantage site, now is literally the best time to do so. Anyway, when it comes to the Pacific update, like I said, this is the biggest update in Warzone history. We've got gameplay changes, we've got engine changes, we've got all sorts of stuff that's already been confirmed for this update. And honestly, in the coming days, we should be learning even more about what's to come as well. But first and foremost, the single biggest part of the single biggest update in Warzone history is the addition of our first major brand new map. Yes, Verdansk 84 is a quote-unquote new map, but it's also like 80% the same as OG Verdansk, right? So Secrets of the Pacific introduced us to new parts of Caldera, which obviously, as we know now, is the new Pacific-based Warzone map. And we can actually now go ahead and look at a couple more areas that were previously unknown to us. So shout out to COD Tracker for actually compiling a list of all the images and everything that we got from that event. Obviously, we see like the whole Royal Theater area. We saw this in some of the actual teaser trailers that we've seen in the past. So that's not a 100% new location, but we get another look at it there. We also see like some sort of radio building. It seems like there's a little radio tower in the background. We obviously get images of the Caldera. We've seen some pictures of this through other promotional stuff as well. That's going to be like the epicenter of the map is that actual volcano. And I've said it before, I'll say it again now. I would be very surprised if at one point in the coming year, we don't have some kind of volcano event, either to send us off or send us into a new season, whatever the case may be. It also seems like we have a little barracks area that's like dug down into the ground. There's some huts down underneath like the main surface level, so that's kind of interesting. We see a little water tower overlooking some villages and some huts, sort of Rebirth-esque there. Hopefully that's not a super big camp spot. Granted, the water tower is pretty exposed if you're on the outside of there, so might not be the safest place to camp. And we also get another new image of the resort area, which we've talked about in some of the previous videos. We also have 6 other images that COD Tracker compiled. The first one is that sort of inland village that we've talked about once more in some of the previous videos. We also get a look at some of the coastal huts. It seems like there's some palm trees in there. We got some smaller huts that are sort of placed all around. It seems to be like on a little beach area or something like that. We get our first look at some of these sub-pen areas, it looks like, or some of the barricades that have been set up along the coastline as well in the top right there. The one that I would say probably concerns me the most is going to be this bottom left one, where it looks like there's going to be a new ATC tower, the ATC 2.0. However, it does seem like there's like a staircase that wraps around it or something. So as long as this has more than one entrance, I feel like it'll be okay. That's the main problem with ATC, right? It's one way in, one way out. That's what makes it a camper haven. Hopefully this won't be a one-to-one of that, and there's multiple entrances and multiple exits. We also see what appears to be like a little construction site that maybe features some gondolas or something going overhead that we could take from building to building. Then lastly here, we see what appears to be some sort of ruins that I would imagine probably are placed within the forest or the more jungly area of the map. So a couple of new looks at Caldera, and obviously that is the biggest confirmed piece of content we have for the Pacific update. Now, obviously, because the Pacific update is also in the Vanguard integration is taking place, that means we have confirmed all the Vanguard content coming over as well, including the weapon arsenals. So all 38 base weapons that we have in the game right now will be coming over alongside any future seasonal weapons. Usually per season, we see 3 to 4 ranged weapons and a couple of melee weapons as well. Those will all be coming to Warzone alongside Vanguard as the seasons end up releasing. And we also have all the Vanguard Operators coming as well. Pretty basic stuff there. But something that's a little bit more important to point out with the weapons is that yes, we are going to see 10 attachments in Warzone. However, it's been confirmed via Call of Duty that the 10 attachments feature is only going to be available on those Vanguard weapons. Now, you might be sitting there saying, well, how is that going to be balanced? Cold War weapons can only have 5 attachments. That'll be staying the same. Modern Warfare weapons can only have 5 attachments. That will also be staying the same. How are those going to compete against 10 attachment weapons? And really it comes down to the Vanguard devs and Raven, obviously who devs Warzone, specifically building these weapons and having these weapons catered to Warzone with their own separate stats. It's been confirmed via a Sledgehammer dev actually that they have specific stats for multiplayer on these weapons and also specific stats for Warzone as well. So there's going to be different cons that obviously all the Vanguard weapons have that the Cold War and Modern Warfare weapons don't. For instance, Bloom, if that's coming over, which it likely will considering we have so many attachments based around accuracy, that's going to be a big drawback of some of the Vanguard weapons. That said though, fully expect the Vanguard weapons to be the meta guns. Same deal with Cold War. This is a business move. They want to promote the current premium titles weapons the most so that players will go over and play the premium title and level up those weapons. So statistically, they're probably going to be the best, and it's just how business is at the end of the day. So expect some major stuff to be going on with the weapon tuning as well. That's pretty much a confirmed thing for all major updates at this point. Would not be surprised if we see a couple of Modern Warfare weapons nerfed, maybe things like the Car 98K so that the Vanguard car can take over, and definitely some Cold War nerfs as well, maybe to the AK, the EM2, the OTS, the MG82, so on and so forth. Obviously, something else that's been confirmed for this update is the engine update, our first real engine update in Warzone history, which means a lot of things, however, most of it's unconfirmed, like an FOV slider, like a new application to actually launch the game from. We'll be talking about that more in a future separate video, but yes, an engine update is confirmed. So we'll probably see some core gameplay mechanics changed up a little bit and a few things with the UI here and there, but more importantly, this engine update allows for the anti-cheat to be implemented, which yes, is also confirmed at this point, a very obvious confirmation here. The Ricochet anti-cheat is going to be fully implemented into Warzone with the Pacific updates, and then it'll be implemented more into Vanguard and Vanguard multiplayer later on at some point in the future. But that kernel level driver is coming with the Pacific updates, and that is going to be a major upgrade to Warzone gameplay. It's going to reduce a lot of the hackers. Hopefully it works as intended, and we see that really combat probably the biggest issue that Warzone's had ever since it released. Then moving on, another thing that we know for sure is happening with this update is the removal of Verdansk. Yes, Verdansk is being entirely deleted from the game. It will not be available to play alongside Pacific and Rebirth. We are just going to have the Caldera map, and we're going to have Rebirth, which is also another confirmation. The devs have already stated that Rebirth is in fact staying. And actually, when we have like the whole downtime, quote unquote downtime during the destruction event, which is coming up here on the 6th actually, when Verdansk ends up getting removed there, Rebirth will be staying live for anyone who wants to play while they're waiting on that new map to go live. And obviously, if you haven't bought Vanguard and you're not going to get access to Caldera 24 hours early on the 8th actually, if you're playing Warzone that day, you'll only have access to Rebirth Island since Verdansk will be gone at that point. So Rebirth is staying, Verdansk is not. 2 more confirmations there. A big change coming to gameplay is the fact that we are going to have planes added in. Now, for what it's worth, they have not confirmed that planes are going to be available in every single mode. I'm kind of hoping they're not, because it does seem like they could be a little bit overpowered. We all know how planes went down over in Fortnite when they added those, so I could see that being a little bit broken if they were in like core battle royale and had turrets and everything available, especially with the entire destructive environment that Caldera is going to have. But we know for sure there is going to be like a dogfight mode essentially featured in the Vanguard only playlist, so planes will be coming as a brand new vehicle, and it should be pretty interesting to try out. Another big thing coming with the introduction of the Pacific update is a rank reset. Obviously, that happens with every single season. Everyone goes back to 55 at the start of the season. Then you work your way up to 100, 200, 300, 400, all the way up to 1,000, which is the max rank for any given season. But also with that, we're going to see a couple of different changes. There's going to be legacy ranks introduced, and this basically is going to allow you to go ahead and look back at your previous ranks throughout Black Ops Cold War. And in the future, once we get to Modern Warfare 2, whatever's past that, we'll be able to look back at the other older ranks for, let's say, Vanguard right now. So not necessarily the biggest change to the ranking system, but a new change nonetheless. And pretty much with that being said, those are all the confirmed changes that we have for the Pacific update, for the Caldera update, and the Vanguard integration here in Warzone. Like I said, this is the most content that we've seen at any given point introduced into the game. Obviously, on top of all of this, we are going to see Season 1 go live alongside everything here, so there's going to be some new maps for Vanguard multiplayer. We're going to have more new operators added into the fold, even more weapons, not a ton, but a couple at least, and probably some other new modes and everything else like that that we usually see in any given new season. So Big stuff is coming, a lot of videos and a lot of content to be made here on the channel, so make sure you are sticking it here for everything going on between Warzone and Vanguard. News, updates, class setups, tips, I'm covering it all each and every single day. Make sure you're subscribed with your notifications turned on, that way you'll always know whenever I post a new video. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code IMMORTAL for a spicy discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products. The links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.